I've been in 2 lift stations.
Oh, my word.
Bobby,
Yeah, I did put some smelly stuff on and washed up really well.
I got you beat on that. When I was young, 18 years old, I was working at Walker's Boatyard.
Uh-huh,
And
yeah.
got a barge come in there that sunk, and they got it up and put it in there to repair. But before we could work on it, we had to fire hose all the rotten, wet soybeans out of that. Man, that was so bad. We'd come in to eat lunch, and they run us plumb out of the, they wouldn't let us eat.
so we are
All right, gentlemen. We are live online. It's normal, and it is 4:29 PM on July the 16th. So I call the meeting to order.
Ashley hadn't.
Ashley hasn't clocked in yet, has she? We'll catch her here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and I believe you have a copy of the financial statements and the minutes of the last meeting. In front of you. You'll review those and then give a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Cunnington and Mr. Freeman approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. You have financial statements in front of you, and we're going to before you get too deep in the study there, Glenda, with the new system, is struggling a little bit, and she doesn't think the numbers are coming out exactly right, because some of the revenue numbers that she's seeing, she thinks is a repeat of a prior month, and she's not sure.
I think just on the operating revenue with water and with sewer, because I'm not seeing where, we finally got that first billing out and I'm not seeing where it got posted to the correct account. So I have to get with Edmonds on that, and we have to figure that one out, where it's going.
Right.
So I really think, I know this is the end of the year. I really think we probably have hit our budget number. We may not be over it too much. I'm talking about just in our operating revenues. I feel like we've probably hit our budgeted number. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah. So
But if I'll get that fixed, and then I'll probably print you out another one. I feel like the expenses, I feel like all the other revenues are probably they're correct, and then all the expenses I feel like are pretty well correct too.
and that's part of going to a new system a lot of times. You got to get used to it first of all, and then a lot of times they don't have it.
You're in the
Close.
hated phase now.
Yeah,
And then you will eventually be, I don't know how I did without it, but it'll take a while.
In between.
6 months to a year.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I sit in my office and I hear all kinds of noises coming from the other levels.
Oh,
It's gonna get paid.
I think, I think Carrie's about to have a nervous breakdown.
I'm hearing lots of, I'm like, okay, we're gonna make it.
So,
I've been there.
but I think the numbers are reasonably accurate, and with a few modifications, we'll get them to what they need to be. Glenda will, and her fine helpers. And
Looks like office payroll cost is like 90% on both of them. You might circle that one to see if payroll costs, I'm over on expense now. And they're both, office payroll costs are both at 90%. And so I'm wondering,
That's because
and it's very possible, but
he was without someone.
okay. So you think that's the way that's gonna play out?
yeah,
Okay,
so
because I know it's over a fiscal year.
Mhm. That should pull all those down a little bit.
Right.
I think all the maintenance stuff, Bobby's pretty good shape, I guess, really that we had last year on big repairs or anything like that, right? There's, they don't. And Bobby's been watching it pretty close himself and working with them to get the charges and everything to the right account number
Yeah, where we can see where it's
where
at.
we can see what's
Mhm.
happening for this coming year and all, because not saying that it was being posted incorrectly, it just, some of them were not in where they needed to be for us to be able to monitor it properly and see what our costs are. The one I remember mostly is chemicals. It was not, there was no place for chemicals, and we spend a lot of money in chemicals. So,
We did.
so Bobby's been doing a lot of work on getting that ready.
So what did you do on that issue, Bobby? Did you do another line item or?
No, we went into our technical supplies. That's because it's required and we have to have them. So we put them on that line. item.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So, but all in all, finances for this fiscal year ending June 30, 26, I think we were in good shape compared to budget and revenue and expenses. So I think everything is good there. So
Yeah, on the expense side, third page. So the 82.74% means what we budgeted, we only spent 82% or 2,474,000 versus 2,909.
Right.
Okay. Any comment on to what, it's a big difference. What was the 500,000 broken into? Was there any big items in particular, or just a mix of items
I think it's more just a mix.
budgeted?
yeah, and it
Just kind
could
of
have
in
been,
general.
Bill, it could have been a little bit of the budget could have been a little bit heavier than it really needed to be for last year when we put it together.
Well, here's three:
Yeah, you never.
salaried employees, hourly employees, and then health insurance. Those kind of go together.
Quite a bit of those left.
If you don't have employees, you don't have to pay health insurance for them. So you start adding
It
that
does their
together.
job.
Yeah.
If we look down to maintenance and repairs
So,
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
so,
left, so, that was one I think that we, Tim assisted us in putting it together, and we were a little heavy because in
Then you-
reality, a pump goes out or something and you don't really know, so,
Right.
And we
Yep.
didn't
Then you
have
look
that
over at
expenditure.
sewer on maintenance, repair and maintenance, and there's 34,000 over, so.
Sure. See that.
Dog kind of averages out
So it's kind of hard to budget some of those items and,
Didn't really be accurate. I understand.
with the.
yeah.
As good as it does look though, the discrepancy between what the sewer. If you combine the budget, the percent that's sewer. And then it jumps way up on the expense side. So it takes more expenses and it actually
does.
makes less money.
Right.
So as from the whole,
And that's what we've always
it's
done.
always known and it's probably never gonna change.
We always end up with it, usually a loss on the sewer side, but a nice, revenue
Mhm.
income on the
Well,
water side.
but also the water goes beyond Calvert City,
That's a big
and the
part
sewer
of it.
revenue is contained
That's right.
pretty much to Calvert.
Yeah.
So those are other issues that,
Tuck it
that's why we
down.
have to look at them together. I
Tuck it
think.
down, maybe help balance that some, because now you get.
It'll help
sewer,
some.
Not adding to the water,
We get that in rolling, that'll help some.
It'll help.
Yeah.
Now, sit down.
What's that? What do you want?
Kentucky down.
Right.
It's only sewer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it,
I just see what
then
you're
the
saying.
revenue side for sewer and water may be more even.
Yeah. Or closer anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other comments on the financial statements or review?
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
else?
no, a lot of that represents your team and Y'all put in maintenance.
Challenges. Good to end that fiscal year that way.
If you had a good night's sleep lately, that's what I want to know.
Did you hear from?
Yeah.
It's been rough.
This water, all this
More
water
than
moving,
what
is
you
it
hear.
part of it? Is it putting stress on it?
3-inch storm.
Ashley.
Me.
So you're looking for a dry August, is that what you're
Yes,
doing?
ready for some, I won't drive.
Oh, okay, so she knows about it.
Farmers need it, but I mean, I won't drive with it.
I noticed her.
Rain, I think the farmers will start wanting it too.
I know.
I got enough water in the soil now to make
No, that's
the crop.
so it must be done for a little bit.
Now they gotta worry about getting it out.
I haven't heard any, you can watch the weather channels and get 21-day forecast. I haven't really heard it. If it's gonna keep doing this.
I just know it's calling for some rain. It's got lightning bolt on it.
Oh, yeah, there's rain coming through. Crazy.
I know Donnie said he had talked to you about
Oh.
pumping some more
Yeah,
leachate water
yeah, he came out yesterday.
to you. So, all right, was hoping that mayor would get here, but he's, I guess, down the hall, and that's what I'm hearing or whatever, but,
He'll be here. He said he was gonna be here.
He might be in there with John.
I forgot to ask him. He was in here.
Well, he did tell me.
yeah, he's planning on it, I think, yeah. So, anyway, moving on down to the project status updates. And, we, got an email from, Chad last Friday, I think it was. And the contractor, Deport Drilling, completed the installation and testing of the new main and is currently finishing up work on the new services. And the
Oh, that's Little Rock. I didn't put that on.
Little Rock area, Little Rock, Atlanta area extensions over there. So as of right now, I think, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, that area over there is now all completed with new water piping and everywhere we had planned to provide it, plus that additional amount that we added with the remaining dollars. And I don't know, have you gotten a bill on that yet?
I got one today, actually.
Okay,
So meters too are installed and
The ones that pay deposit. Install them. I got.
how many down there?
we need to promote that a little bit to the people over there, or you think they all know about it? And Michael, or in your area over there, to say, hey, you now have option to turn on the city water, or
I think most of them know.
I do too, cause
Yeah.
we talked to almost all of them.
talk
Yeah,
all of
we,
And
we kind of promoted it beforehand to kind of take the pulse of the people. I rode around on a golf cart with one of my neighbors and kind of talked to most of them, and I tell you, I think
the
far as
ones
I
I've
can
already
tell.
got, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 5 already that's ready to get on.
But I mean, yeah, it definitely wouldn't hurt to
Mhm.
send them a letter or something just to let them know what
It's now completed, all the work's completed, and
what their steps would need to be if they were interested, if
Yeah.
they don't, in case they don't know, that they can just call City Hall or.
Get out of the way.
yeah, that might be a good idea to do that. Yeah, you want to make a note of that, Glenda, and see if we can.
We did it on the
We
Long,
did it on the Long
we
Valley.
did it on Long Valley for sure.
So
Okay.
do we give them any incentive? Do we waive any kind of?
They don't have
tap-ons?
tap fee.
They don't have a tap fee,
Oh,
which
this
is, and that is an incentive, because if
You ain't
they,
kidding. Yeah,
That's $1,600 there.
They have to pay the 150 deposit.
Yeah.
okay.
The tap was provided by the grant.
And that's great.
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
so,
Yeah, we probably should let them know that.
It would be good.
Anybody that hasn't?
Hmm.
Anybody hasn't found out?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got those now, but there's like I think 5 or 6 that we gotta install meters for. But they're almost ready.
So these
They
that
just gotta be their person.
haven't done that, but you probably ought to maybe put a time limit on that. Rather, that's not gonna be a forever offer, and you know what I'm saying? That we're not gonna let you waive those tap fees forever.
Instead, give them 12 months and
Well, yeah, I mean, give them a reasonable time that.
Fiscal year, this year
I mean, if
maybe.
they think they do it forever, well, I'm gonna ride this well till it goes out, and they usually go out.
What is the
So-
tap fee? How much is it?
Like 16 something. Ain't that right? Yes. I think so.
Does the grant dictate how long they have to?
That's what I thought. I'm gonna have to ask.
Yeah.
They might look into that.
yeah,
The tap fee is the cost for tapping up,
Mhm.
not actual cost, but it's a ballpark cost.
Right, we have a standard, we have a set.
So it varies from tap to tap, depending on location, side of the road and all that kind of stuff. That's average.
In size. Tap, yes.
But the tap's already been provided by the grant.
Mhm. So that is a real good
So it's physically
Question.
sitting there.
question to Chad, though. That may have, that probably's got an expiration date on some of it.
You understand what I'm saying?
But the tap's
Yeah.
already been made, the meter base is already set, so there's no work to be done, right?
Right, you just
So
got,
That's what I,
It's
So-
done.
So.
Okay, okay.
So now all they have,
Okay.
You on trying to
Yeah.
incentivize the
Yeah.
tie-in,
But it may not be for this. We
May
might
not-
just say it in
may not
general.
work for
we
that.
did taps down. Highway 95 too. Yeah. So
basically, they have to
the
get a
taps were
contractor now.
provided down Highway 95 as well. We had resistance to people wanting to tap onto that line. When were they done? Last year. So we used the grant money to provide that tap. To sit
Okay,
there.
okay.
And I agree with your sentiment.
Yeah.
I agree with the idea.
Yeah.
We'd like to incentivize and tie on sooner rather than later.
Right.
Since the tap work's already been done. The tying point is sitting there ready to put a meter in.
Yeah.
It's hard to use that tap fee as the incentive.
Right.
And so we're gonna incentivize. If that's something we wanna do. We'd have to figure out another way to do it. It's kind of disingenuous to tie up the pay for something that's already been done.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
But I
true.
agree that we would prefer, if we actually had problems down Highway 95, we put a lot of time and money into purging out that line because we didn't have enough people tied on at a high enough rate. And that's behind us now. Right? Okay. And that was only done after those taps were made utilizing grant funds.
Mhm.
We've had some more people pick it up since then. The problem is when, if they don't have a well, if the well goes dry or whatever, you still have to have a licensed plumber assure that there's no way to get their well water into the city water. But they have to be totally separate. Now, they can run water on their property, but they can't do it in the same system that they're using city water. And to go through and to, pay a licensed plumber to certify that it's not connected, and then for somebody to go through and try to reconnect that again, that's a big problem for our utility system. So that's, can't be allowed. And whether we can detect it or not is another thing, but if you want to run a frost-free faucet, or maybe even tie on a Rainbird sprinkler system or something off your well, that's perfectly legit. You just gotta make sure the two systems are totally separate.
but now they have to run a line from the water line, our water line to their house, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
we
do
don't
have
cover
that cost they got to incur if they want to get on. Is that correct?
yeah, we don't do anything past them.
Right.
That they'll have to fund whatever they gotta do to get to those.
But the tying point is actually, if there's a road bore or whatever, the tying
taken
point
care of.
is actually on the property.
The setter is the.
Now, whether there's something on there or not, they gotta make a deposit in order to get the meat.
Exactly.
Right.
And then they connect themselves.
So
with
if
the
they're
plumber.
50
to
feet,
their-
100 feet off the road, they have to run that
Yes.
line.
Basically, the only financial incentive we have left is to waive the deposits. I mean, there's nothing
yeah.
else left.
Right.
we did not do that. with
Right.
The others.
It's not really an
I
option,
don't
but
think we would.
we don't have any other, there's no other financial incentive that I can think of. There would have to be a different type of incentive if we were trying to do it.
So the deposit is mandated by the meter size. That it's set for the meter size.
Right.
I think we let the incentive be that it's reliable, quality
Guys
water.
get ready to say something. They have an option for.
Put that in the letter.
Good quality water system.
That's right.
And
And repairs from the road.
If your pump goes out on your well, I mean,
Yeah.
you ain't getting nothing.
Right.
you don't have a Bobby.
That's right.
And then you get back to what Steve said. They'll write it, not worry about it until they're looking, okay, this is my pump refurb cost. This is my water line.
Sure.
From my house to the meter set cost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best.
It does to get down to economics.
That's where
Very
you,
cool.
and the quality of water their well provides.
Yes.
I think that's the main thing. Some folks back there were really happy with their wells and some folks weren't. Some
They're
people-
pretty deep. My understanding is they're pretty
They
deep.
are.
They're pretty deep over there on 95 as well. So those are really the two areas that we have. Right, meter sets available on property, some of which I haven't been tied on. We don't have anywhere else to be.
Yeah, there might be a couple on BB Cloud.
Okay, yeah.
Spot.
Yeah, we still got the PB Cloud out of that. That
I'm
one
wondering if
guy,
they
he
might
probably,
be taken up though,
Yeah.
on BB Cloud.
what about that one guy that wouldn't let us on his property or anything? And he on PB Cloud?
Yeah.
Did he get a meter set? Okay. Even though we had to rewrite the project, that's fine.
Yep. The other Kentucky Down Village sewer connection, I was hoping, Ashley would be on here because I think she was been reviewing the draft requirements that the state sent us, and we got to reply back to that draft as to whether we accept their wants and our wants and make sure everything is in order, but,
There's been back and forth. And that's,
it's,
needs to pick up a little speed perhaps.
yeah. But according to Chad, it's pretty well complete, that's the needs,
I have one question real quick, it's kind of back on the previous topic, but I haven't driven back there. Did we set fire plugs back there?
Yeah, there it is.
Well, there's your incentive right there also.
You got fire protection.
You know, they don't have to tie on to have that, but it's a huge benefit.
yeah.
But it's not, y'all are not in Calvert City, right? Right. Yeah. So might not be Calvert fire protection.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but just
North
having,
Marshall?
that, it saves you on your insurance.
No, that is Giversville Fire District.
Oh, okay.
And,
But they'll like
when the
having.
new line
Fireplace.
was put in, there were fire, taps, fire plugs. Spaced throughout, but one thing that is yet to be asked for is the existing system up there now has a loop around on it. Okay, so there is the potential to support more fire plugs up there, fire hydrants. And so it's kind of uncertain ground on how that request is made. So Giversville Fire Protection District could increase their density fire hydrants and make a request of Calvert City Utilities, and that would come to us to figure out how that was gonna be. And I don't know that we have a policy on that. So Possum Tribe has fire hydrants on Calvert City water that they utilize.
Right.
So Calvert City, we run fire hydrant maintenance through our fire department.
And who does the maintenance?
We have contractors do the maintenance.
Okay.
Some years we actually have had some city help go through and bleed them off and do different things,
Right.
but there's a charge, since we're enterprise level. So there is a charge from the fire department to the water budget of fire hydrant fees and charges. I don't know exactly how that was straightened up, but to my knowledge, that does not occur with the volunteer districts. I don't think. There's,
I know that, yes, the fire department has in their budget a certain amount so they can pay water and sewer for flushing those hydrants.
So there's a pass through in the city budget that it flows from the fire department's budgetary line items that goes into the utility.
For the city.
For the city.
Yeah, we'll
From,
reimburse.
there's money that flows from the city's budget through the fire department into water and sewer utility charges. So there is, in my belief, there's a need for more fire hydrants up, when we looped in the lines and have more water flow. And we need to probably, look at, give ourselves for that. And the same thing with PB Cloud, and I don't know the hydrant situation down there as well, but I do the one like on Grant Street.
Who's at Gilbertsville? Who's fire chief there now? Do you know?
Jimmy Dexter. But I'll probably need to talk to Mr. Dexter to see.
We don't charge them or they don't.
Bobby, did they finish that?
No, yeah, we ain't done
Okay, cause I thought, I'm making myself a note. I'm like. I want to reimburse
So if
water.
we have
Well, they
a-
haven't completed it.
A non-resident
hopefully next week
And-
they start up again.
and a non-participant on our water and they have a fire and use our
Yes,
water,
free.
do that. So we don't have it metered. We don't
Nope.
know. Okay.
No, so the public protection, the fire protection and I'll be the first to admit, Steve, I'm ignorant about what our requirements of a utility is to do that sort of thing. I
Mhm.
don't know statute, I don't know regulations, but that's what happens. If it's coming out of a fire hydrant, it is not metered flow and we never recover any fees for that water use. Okay, the training center is on a meter and the city pays for water flow at Calvert City Training Center. They pay utilities, pays
Mhm.
over into the budget.
Okay.
Or, that's, we do that monthly. The city pays over, the city of Calvert City pays a utility bill to Calvert City Utilities every month. For multiple meters. They include sewer tie-ins. That's not a surprise for anybody, correct?
No.
Okay.
So the only thing we're out on this would be. Now we charge the people up on the hill. A water fee if they hook on.
So we've provided the meter set, so they hook on, they make a deposit, and they're a customer, so there's certain customers up there. And so there's
But
fire
if there's
hydrants
a
up there.
fire, then Possum Trot's gonna go hook on.
Yeah, yep. Calvert City's gonna help them. If there's a house fire, if there's a house fire up above, up in this area we're talking about. It'll be a primary page out for Gilbertsville Fire Department with an automatic secondary page to Calvert City. So
Okay.
both fire departments will respond and they will tie on to whatever hydrant and utilize whatever water is required to take care of that emergency. And there's no charges for that. There's no charges in the city for that action and there's no charges to Possum Trot Fire Department either. And they will, even some areas, if it's the nearest hydrant, if they are trucking water, somebody's got a well and there's not a hydrant at a domicile, they will take tankers and use the apparatus to shuttle water. So they'll get the nearest hydrant. So it'll either be North Marshall's supply, if it's on that side of the interstate, or ours. And the same can be true of Calvert City, although I can't recall that as much as from the lay of the land. We might tie on to a North Marshall hydrant. I can remember one time when I've done that as a fire officer. We were pulling water out of a North Marshall hydrant and moving it back and forth.
Do they pay a fee for the fire protection? I lived at Benton. I had a fire.
So
in
yeah,
Benton, but I
they do.
paid a fee to the Benton Fire Department because I was not in the city limits.
Calvert City
Yeah.
Fire Department doesn't do that. We just do the city limits. And the two volunteer departments have taxing districts. So there is a board
Okay,
and there's a tax rate
okay.
for those fire departments. That's how they generate income. So there is I don't know. I think we still have one or two volunteer fire departments in the county that's not got taxing status, although I'm not really sure about that. But both Possum Trot and Gilbertsville are taxing districts.
Yeah, wasn't that bad. It's a few $100
it's
a
well
year. I
worth it.
mean,
It's well worth
worth it.
You have to have that kind of, and the homeowners will save it back on it pretty quickly.
Insurance.
Historical note, your uncle, Doc Calvert, one time in the last 10 years, I asked him, about his days here. He was a mayor from 60s through, I don't know how long,
Yeah.
70s, 80s. And he said, I wish I had pushed for a county-wide fire department that was paid for through fiscal court outside the cities, you know,
Yeah.
instead of all these volunteers that use, it's just not very efficient the way it's played out. But that was one of the things he wished had been different, or, you know.
That's
that-
interesting.
Yeah, he thought that we would have benefited from that.
Well, Calvert City at one time would go in, well, we still will. I mean, Calvert City had a fire department and the state police calling them, they would go wherever.
Yeah, and you know, and it's
They
great.
take that 55 Chevy, you go wherever it needed to go. And the
Way out
the
of it.
transition from the volunteer department that had Lions Club donations and it becoming part of the city's budget, that's kind of a murky time period. Ain't like that for a politically correct way, so it's murky how that transition's made.
Murky,
Yeah.
I like
That
murky.
word.
Well, they go from, having a barn and a 55 Chevy to having a building that was the utility office and also housed 2 engines and an ambulance. You remember that? And that building burned twice or 3 times.
That's ironic, but yeah.
All right, the next project that got on the list is the US 62 widening project, and information I have on that is that the Kentucky Division of Water permits have been secured for this project, and Rivercrest is currently assisting with the negotiation of easements for the project.
Is this beyond the roundabout? Is this,
That's the
This is after the
roundabout.
he is the roundabout, okay.
But he made a note in here, and is that somebody's having issues with 2 motels. Initially, both were cooperative, but they are saying that they're not interested, so I don't know where that stands, and he's
Well-
looking at a option to
Yeah, well, the
go
one,
around that or
the
whatever.
one we might be able to go around, it might be better for us.
Yeah,
But we do need to talk to Daisy,
you
because
talk
that one needs to stop.
Chad sent me a formal request that we work to facilitate bringing them back to the table. They don't want to talk to engineering into the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've read that note. I guess he sent that a couple days ago.
so. But that's not unusual with,
We're getting away from the one major one. I'd rather go this other option anyway. We'll be out of all that concrete parking lot.
Okay.
We'll be in basically the right of way of the new loop that's coming down from Long Valley. And we'll have all kinds of work in it. And
So you got that design change?
yeah, he actually
So
had,
Chad's working on that. Okay.
he's supposed to have, I thought he'd have it done by now.
Yes, but the second segment,
Yeah, going to the other one.
the other one's a lot tighter.
And it's not as bad because the only thing that one has is 2 entrances that we gotta go under.
Mhm.
So I don't know what the big deal would be that one. We wouldn't cause any issues with entrance or anything.
So where's the second one at roundabout at? Got
No.
one there to,
There's
No,
one
there's
roundabout.
only
He's
one
One.
roundabout.
He's
Okay.
talking about 2 segments of the property. So
Okay, okay.
one segment of the property has to do with the hotel that's westernmost hotel.
right,
Okay, and we found when you look at alternatives and you can find some stuff, and Bobby likes that one. Cost is, I don't know what the cost, is, probably a little higher.
And no, it ain't nothing much of a difference.
Okay.
It's just, we're just rerouting.
But the-
it
but the-
different way.
but
We
the-
gotta get an extra easement.
But you got the benefit of a
We're very, it's better, it would be better if something was to happen.
Okay.
We would be in a better position.
for maintenance.
Maintenance perspective, yes.
But then when you cross Campbell Lane,
Mhm.
and go to the one that's on the east side,
Mm.
closest to interstate, closest to Marshall Yards. That is one that there's very little wiggle room, and it's pretty much got to
Yeah,
go there,
it has.
and the property owner has not been very, he initially was fine. I don't know whether he got tired of it or not, but I'll reach out to him, see what we can do about getting a meeting, get that taken care of.
so being a state project that's eminent domain come into
That's
the
what I-
play there, so.
It could very easily.
State would pull that trigger on that faster than we would probably, so.
How does Kentucky Fried Chicken feel about it? Are they?
I have, what is it, that the proper thing for that would be to say, I'm ignorant and indifferent. I'm both. And what's, that's the old joke is, what's the difference between ignorance and indifference is I don't know and I don't care. I don't really care about the ownership of Kentucky Fried Chicken at this point. I've extended so many olive branches, my boat has sunk.
I just thought I'd pull those scat before you got out of here, but
That's fine.
You trying to get him upset, Bill. Yeah.
just blood pressure.
I would love to rent the property next to his dental, practice and maybe, send some possums to California. It would help
There you go.
those personas.
Send him some Kentucky possum.
But that would not reflect nicely on our community. So,
But once you retire, have fun.
Hadn't thought about that.
On the US 62. Oak Park, Maine relocation. Kentucky Division of Water. Permit has been secured for this project along with the KYTC encroachment permit. So that's assuming that's getting that out of the liquor stores.
Yeah,
drive through.
that one right there is ready to go for bid. And I just looked and I did budget for it and I figured we'll just go ahead and go for it. Chad is going to know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him know.
Which would bring it up tied into the line going on up.
It'll come on out of the parking lot, come around Mega Pit, go up to Oak Park.
You know, it's interesting that the work that we're doing, so at the same time, we have the relocation work for Kentucky Transportation. We are actively sweeping up the things that were artifacts and that was,
That one,
so, you know, this whole relocation on Oak Park these days will be done the way we're handling this out here around the hotels. And this, so we're sweeping up the mess, if you will, from just letting things lie and just moving the road. So thank goodness we don't do that.
yeah.
Yeah, that parking lot, that used to be the road, didn't it? Years ago, where it's
From
going
what
through right
I-
now.
from what I've-
Yeah. I remember there's a golf. They had a putt course and get some golf balls there. Practice range.
Okay, so Bobby, what's the wastewater KPDES permit?
Oh, yeah,
renewal?
River Crest, we're working on that. It's due this year, that's all that's about.
Oh, okay, that's just the normal.
Yeah,
permitting.
it's every 5 years. and
Yeah, okay.
They're, he's just helping.
He's accepting the son. Yeah. And then, of course, we're still working with our attorney, Brian Veneman, on the cleaning up of the influent lift station and the surety bonds and all of that work is still going on. And Gene sent a letter to him this week or an email to him this week.
Was nice. I was nice. I was nice.
You were nice. Yeah, I thought you were. You did a
And being,
good job.
yeah, he's not being nice.
Brady was waiting on
Yeah.
it. I mean, he kept saying he was waiting.
Well, yeah, you can move without
But
waiting.
Pat helped me and came up with, and Bobby was helping me also.
The worst enemy of a good solution is the promise of a better.
Yeah. So.
Oh, anyway, so. in the
So
right
hopefully
context-
he will get that moving with the bonding legal side of it and get them to turn loose of
But,
money
yeah,
and.
all teasing aside, he is making sure we sweep up all the details because we're getting ready to, this is it.
Did some-
So this is it. This is all the little details and sweep it all in a nice neat package and drive toward the finality of it. There's a good portion of the work that has already been approved by the bondholder. So the city took a course of action. You know, investigated, this is what should happen, had a conversation with the surety. And we're approved and we did it. So there's a pretty big number in there that had that sort of, path forward that was approved by all parties, and it's a little bit aggravating to me that we haven't been able just to, collect on the ones that are already agreed to. And so basically there is some conflict in the settlement of this thing. So Mr. Beaman getting all the details together and driving toward that finality. So that is what we ultimately want. And
So that's a update on all the active work that's going on. The guess the one item. Do you want to talk about the overflow? Oh no, part.
there's some things I still don't understand about insurance coverage, et cetera. So we've got a situation where a landowner has experienced loss because of sewer backup. And in our policy, we have a provision for 2,000. Was that the payment? Excuse me, 5,000.
5,000.
And we supplied that quickly. And their loss is a bit higher than that. And they have been turned down by the city's insurance carrier for that sewer backup. And I don't really understand all the reasons about that sufficiently to really discuss it in the greatest detail. What do you think we need?
Well, what my understanding is that the adjuster, when he was on site looking at it and all, said that the city was not at fault, so therefore our insurance doesn't pay. But yet it was the city's sewer line that backed up because of grease and rags and things that was in the land. And so, I mean,
I sent Ashley the denial letter, and I thought.
yeah, I have.
Yeah, so
I talked to Ashley and Ashley was looking into it and.
So what's happened is we've got Ashley looking into it from a legal perspective and reading the details of the coverage that we have. And at some point, the landowner, or the person, party suffering the loss would like for the city to monetarily go deeper than the 5,000. And yet our insurance coverage does not. So we're in that gray area. And to my knowledge, we really haven't been there. I haven't got a lot of experience. So we've got counsel, city attorney looking at it. And another thing we need to take a look at is how we stand on that once we learn the details about why it was denied and what happened. We may need to see if we need another insurance product or not. And so there's some legal questions in there that still need some fleshing out.
They did provide 5,000 through the insurance company, right?
No, that was city, Calvert City. By policy.
By policy,
By our policy, written stated policy.
but our insurance company that covers things beyond that denied it.
Because, they cover our negligence, and because of the situation was that we were not negligent in the situation that created the backflow. That's the stand, and they got denied. And that's a simplistic version of it, correct?
That's as I understand it, yeah. Mhm.
The rags and grease were something that or
Came from other people on the sewer line.
And was there a natural part of this too? Was there a lot of extra water in the system at that point or something? Or not that didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, I don't know if that might have been, I can't remember how the weather was then.
Okay.
That segment of gravity flow sewer goes into the manway that's on Oak Park, which is actually one of our latest refurbs. And we weren't experiencing things at the lift station that were indicative of having any issues.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Do we have?
It's also
data?
flat, it's very flat,
Yeah.
so it's very kind of slow moving anyway. and then people are on the very end of it.
So being flat, it would tend to maybe build up.
Yeah, I mean, you got the lowest percent droppage that you need, and I think what's 2% is the lowest that you need, so.
Did you say that the rags and grease came from other homeowners or from this
From somewhere.
homeowner? So we don't know.
We don't
I don't
know,
know.
we don't know where it came from. I
Okay.
mean, I'm suspicious myself where some of it came from because where it flows from, but and behind, but don't know. I mean, then the line comes down the hill from up above. So
Are we also considering whether that homeowner files a claim with their own insurance?
I think they said they did, Bruce, and that was declined because their sewer, I mean, it was not their sewer that backed up or anything. It was a result from the city sewer backing up and then flooding in. But I mean, we're working on trying to come up with a resolution, but
So, the event happened back in the month of January. And we went, and had the $5,000 check from the city immediately. And then they redid their house and itemized their expenses and supplied that to us for consideration, and it's still looking at that. So it's been referred to our city attorney and, searching for what the city has done in the past. And how best to proceed with the actual claim. And I don't really want to talk about a lot of the, because we might wind up, this board might wind up being the ones that decide that. So I don't want to go into too many details before we figure out how we're going to proceed. That makes sense to you?
No problem.
So,
Yeah.
they went through and redid their house, as they saw appropriate, and they've got that fixed up and, have itemized expenses. And so there it is, the difference between the two, and we would like to, get help on that as anyone would. And so there's some legal questions on our insurance coverage and then what is procedurally, we move on from there.
then the memos that I've seen from the homeowner have been, he's been very, I'll say, nice about the situation at this point in time. Trying to get resolution, but he had to dig into his pocket pretty deep to clean up the mess, so.
So right now we're focused on this situation. If the root cause was the grease and the rags, is there anything that we need to do
We already have them.
to try to address that?
I've already been taken care of. I've added grease, separators and, we, monitored monthly. We've cleaned and backed.
Good.
And we're also checking grease traps more often every month. So we're actively doing something.
Good. That's great.
So just wanted you all to know that that was in process and been done, and you'll have to. Somebody will have to make a decision, either the city or city council or us or somebody. To resolve it and try to. Come up with something reasonable, so.
So the attorney is searching to see if there is precedent set in the past that we would have to look back on any action in the past that would have happened, right?
She's looking more at, the policy coverages versus the incident, seeing what's going on with that.
Okay.
And then, see how we can proceed legally. That's the part you're talking about. I don't know, that's gonna be a complete, look backwards. Although that's not a bad idea to see what we've done in the
If
past.
we're gonna set a precedent where
Yeah.
we've done something in the past that really hang us on that, so.
And sometimes,
I don't know for sure that we're, that's obviously not gonna be a searchable database. That's just a manual look through sewer utilities, and I don't know how far back we could go. to look at that. I mean, I guess we've got records all the way back. Glenda's got her, I can see.
The wheels are turning.
I can see it somewhere else thinking how I would play him out.
They can
Yeah.
wear it, I don't know.
There's probably, I
Have you,
mean, the
have you
legal
checked the
counsel
one
will tell us.
source? It's over here across the street.
There's probably a limit of how far they could use that.
They
It'd be
don't-
nice to know if we've
I said,
ever
she's checked.
responded to something like that.
The human database. I can remember Roger one Christmas helping some family that it backed up around the holidays, cold.
That's one of the worst things.
Evergreen, maybe. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, there was a problem on Evergreen, but I think that was,
That was one, our last one for this insurance did.
Is that right? Remember one?
Wasn't it? So we didn't.
So, this
I don't think
situation is
that
one of the
was
worst
the
things that
people
can
either.
happen.
It is the worst, isn't it?
To
Sewer back
utility
up.
tie-in. So,
You hate
you
it
know,
for people.
the situation on state law is if you have sewer available, you mandated to tie in on it, and then you got a gap in what's going on with that sewer and how it can impact you personally. So a lot of the I that this utility has been in to, I'm getting too old for this, 15 years of smoke testing and lining sewers. And because we wanted to eliminate the extra flow, but when you have these, but we had I need to go through and figure out the data. Did you ever find any data on that rain we had? What day was it?
Oh, the one we had Saturday?
Was it Saturday?
I guess it.
Oh my, it was a 50-year rainfall.
And it was just the
over
northern
like a
half.
3-hour period.
Is that right? Not all of
Claire,
it.
she lives right there on Lone Valley Road. She
Mhm.
said she didn't get anything.
We had this huge event on the
Oh,
north part of
my God.
Calvert.
we got it.
Yeah.
We had the high water mark in Memorial Park, which is
Mhm.
near to the Steve lot.
Yes.
is,
So it was covering the lift station,
The
right?
lift station was actually underwater and had a high pump out rate of the lift station for a period of what you say.
Excessive runtime.
For 4 hours or something.
Something like more than that, probably.
And so it was a flash flood to beat all flash
Mhm,
floods.
mhm.
And so the I work has come a long way. So when you had rainfall incidents like that and you're backing up sewers and they're not flowing right and even getting overrun, that's when you had a lot more problems than we currently have. And there are a couple of trouble spots still. And I don't think that, to my awareness, that section down Oak Park's not been one of those.
No. Rain gauge on my back porch was 5 inches, but that's all it is. So I don't know how much more than 5 inches. It
It overflowed your,
Mhm.
overflowed the rain gauge, yeah.
it's pretty.
But
Yeah, it was, yeah, it was
It
pretty.
was coming down. I was
Yeah.
thinking about you, Steve, while it was running in. I said, all this, told my wife, I said, all this is going to Steve down there.
Yeah, you can see where it was quite out of the banks of the ditch and right there almost over that sewer on the industrial parkway as far as the volume.
But we got up the next morning and it wasn't really flowing down our across
Yeah,
our
it-
yard in the ditch.
It
was
got out of
empty
here
and,
quick.
Yeah.
So, in the city, we've got various areas. Used to be the apartments would have been in big trouble. This isn't a utility board issue as much as it's just a Calvert City issue that. And I wasn't a big fan of the detention basin, but it has saved that place. That was another situation. That's a solid 4 on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sixth Avenue on the tail end, you got pretty substantial ditches on both sides of Sixth Avenue, and it was in the road there. It's some of the garage levels are lower than the road down Sixth Avenue. That dude was built to the bottom of the creek. I guess they just paved the creek. I'm not sure, but it's pretty low. So that's a continuum. We didn't have any problems down through there with utilities that I'm aware of. So. Yeah, it was
How much?
what do they call it, a frog strangler?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, we got that 3 to 5 inches in our lagoons too,
Oh, yeah,
so. Yeah.
Bobby reported, what'd you say, 4 million?
yeah. No, two, it was like 2 days worth, it was 2 million and 2 million.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
What was in it?
We need some right
All
away.
right, on the rate study, I'm sorry to report again, but I have not had any time. My work and everything's been backed up and I have not had any time to dig into the to the numbers again, so we will move that on to the next month's agenda, so. So
Send on these financials, if you get a check on that, can you send those back out if you reach a point where you've got
Mhm.
some confidence in
Yeah,
that?
that's what I'm
You know,
saying.
Since it's year end,
Mhm.
it really be nice.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
we need it.
Yeah.
for
That's what I
comparison.
said when I get that,
Right.
where I think, yeah.
Thank you. And, I know your pain. We've been through it when they would change, they'd come in, somebody'd have to go state buy something and they come in and change all the systems and, I'm not a computer expert like some people here are, but, and I tell you, you'd struggle with it.
Yeah.
Just trying to struggle, but I'd say just about the time I figured this out, you're doing something different, so.
Yeah, I walked in one morning, I just looked at Carrie and I said, Carrie, it's gonna be okay. And she said, I just want to be able to know how to do something, just one thing. I just want to know without having to call
Well,
someone.
let me ask you on the side note, what about the support? Are we getting the kind of?
Yes,
support we
they're
thought we'd
good.
Have with that?
Mhm. For the most part, for the
I do
most
think
part,
it's
they're
probably
really
the
good.
best things that
Mhm.
we've done if we get through this spot.
Yeah.
As far as manipulating a picture of where we're at financially, it's gonna
Yes.
give us a lot better database.
Well, and our customers getting to take advantage of it if they want to, the digital side of it of paying and.
I think a
Is that going
lot of
down?
people pay online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a lot that have the automatic withdrawal.
Yeah.
So it's
we do
really, really
automatic
good.
withdrawal. We do it.
Phone number working, yeah.
I don't think the phone number's working yet.
So,
I have not heard Allison say anything about the phone number working yet.
yeah.
We got 2 sets of bills, I understand,
When's your next disconnect day?
for April.
26. Something like that.
Two sets of invoices.
Maybe we'll have to straighten out by then.
I don't know. That's all.
You have
No.
personal?
So the
No,
bills
that's all.
arrived late,
Marlene said she got 2 sets of April bills.
probably shouldn't.
Oh, I
So
don't
I've
know.
I'll
paid
get
a lot
off
of
cross
it.
country and say something's not
I
correct.
don't-
So for this last disconnect day, what was it? What day was it?
I don't remember.
Well, we did this.
But we didn't,
Yeah, I want to get into that.
It was, it's
Yeah.
always around 20.
Okay, so last disconnect.
Or somewhere around that.
System, the bill's not gone, so we did not disconnect anyone.
because we were late sending out the
Now,
bills.
normally, what's our normal true disconnect number? Normally, how many do we disconnect on disconnect day?
Well, when they get it all filtered down, normally 17,
That's what I was.
17 to 20.
Okay, per month? Yes. Okay. So when the disconnect day came, we're still getting our commercial act together. So we didn't disconnect anyone. Okay. Now, this next one coming up, there'll be people who, the people who didn't get their bill, we would have disconnected, had to go back and reconnect and create a lot of ill will, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's great. But somewhere in that mix, there's folks that are struggling with their water bill and they got a ollie in free month. And then, hopefully that they take that under the right circumstances, it doesn't continue to build and multiply on them. And it could, that particular situation could have a negative impact on us. We may have somebody using water that ultimately needs to be disconnected that will exceed their deposit or whatever. That's part and parcel of the startup of the new system. We try and plan and try to prevent all that as best we can, but they're doing it. And I think that, we got a lot of, the reason we're so careful in rate studies and water rates is because water is essential for everyone. It's the most essential thing you gotta have, and we've gotta have good, reliable water for our community in order to be the best community. And I think people get a little upset at the stringency of the policies in place for Calvert City Water. And then we have a disconnect day, you don't pay by this day, then you disconnect, and they seem that we're so rigid and all that. So I encourage everyone to get on automatic withdrawal, take that away, the policies are set. That the folks are really struggling, they're up against it, can't keep your water bill on, they're in pretty dire financial circumstances, or they're inattentive to their financial details. I don't know what the percentage is, it probably varies from month to month and probably from season to season. But there's really, you can't let that go. So the policies are pretty stringent now. There is some wiggle room, but people make the utility system aware of it ahead of time. And there's some wiggle room that we've got built into the policy that if you don't say anything and you don't pay and it comes up on the disconnect day, you get disconnected. So this last one, because of circumstances in Edmund's rollout, we elected and made the decision not to pull the trigger on disconnect. And I think that was a proper decision, and I fully supported that, and that's where we're at. But this next one could be more meaningful. And so we'll see how that comes back around. So, you know, I was making people aware that
If they couldn't pay out 1 month, they'll probably not be able to pay 2 months if they let it go that long, right?
people, you know, listen, I've been in a situation in my own life, but maybe all of us have, and trying to make it all work. And but there should have been somewhere between 10 and 15 disconnects last month, and they didn't happen. So hopefully they'll get back in line with their water bill and get straight. The remaining of them, there was like, what, 50? There were 50 on the list or something. There's some big number on the disconnect list. And it was obviously because we had poor ability to get the mail to work right. And we were late on the water bills and all that. And it was likely we're just going to forego it this month. And I think that's a proper decision. And I believe everybody would support that one that we've made. But this next month is going to be better. And it may be a bigger incident for some people.
Also, the mail doesn't help us either when you mail out the cards.
No, it doesn't. No, we never get ours all, of course, we're on. Or they just take it out of the checking account.
Yeah.
Did you get the letter? Did you get the letter? You know, last month with the bill in it?
I don't know. I don't.
Because, you know, last month we don't use the cards anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I don't do
I
that.
think some people saw that letter from Calvert City and tossed it aside because they came in, they're like, well, I didn't get a bill. And I think I heard someone go, oh, I think I did get a letter or something from Calvert.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true. So since
Like-
this is a recorded meeting, we ought to say a few things. So we're not doing cards anymore.
Right. Let's say that. No
So you have
cards.
by 11 sheet of paper.
Yes,
Okay, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
mailed to you in an envelope.
correct.
Okay, so we hope that it's gonna be better than the cards. The cards, we have some idea that think that some of them, they're just harder to process. We've been led to believe. Okay, another point is, in initial, there was a PIN number
Yes.
that is sent to you, and you're gonna establish an online paying. The Edmunds is pretty slick, and if you're an online payer now, you can. I mean, West Kentucky Rural Electric has that ability. I think Jackson Purchase does too. Now, Calvert City Water has the ability. You can pay your bill online, but if you don't have that PIN number.
And a new account number.
And a new
And that's all on your bill, or you can always call us, which that's what most people have done.
Yeah,
Okay, so I encourage everybody, so your automatic withdrawal information mapped over. Some people who put it on a credit card didn't map over. Okay,
No, it will not. It
So,
did not.
Credit cards don't map over. Thank you.
which
We're that way on electric and everything, just the system automatic. It's checking account.
mhm.
Don't mess with it.
So, yeah, so the folks who do those kinds of things need to double check it, but we have not run into an incident that I'm aware of. It's the direct withdrawal. I mean, it all went over.
Yes.
So we hadn't had a
The
single.
automatic withdrawal
Okay,
went
but
fine
the credit card information went poof.
because of the new account numbers
Right.
and pins.
Okay. And I had
That's the reason. And a new system that it went through.
Right.
You know, it was different. It's
So
different.
it's got different rules for credit cards, and it changed so much that it go poof. So if you do the credit card thing, they got to call back in. Which
Set
I
it up.
just-
Reset up your- reset up your
Near
card.
Dear to me. I need to double check that she's not on the list. And Bobby's over smiling. Can't wait to disconnect the mayor's mother. I'd get an earful from that citizen here.
And there's all kinds of agencies out there and stuff that people will really try to work it. we wind up with that sometimes in church where we have people that show up. They're in dire straits and it's like you got a 2-day window to try to fix problems that has built up over 6 months or longer and you just can't do it. So I'm sure they know those services are available to them.
All of the
If not, they
churches in
call
this,
Aid line and
yeah,
get
and
all the
this-
list of them,
yeah, all the churches in this area help people.
Yeah,
We get that a lot.
yeah.
They pay people's bills.
Yeah, new to you and Benton does too. They give them one utility bill paid per year, I think is
Yeah.
what they do, or something like that. You know anybody that needs it. All right. That, Bill, you got anything?
Just going back to an issue that we had before, I don't know if we resolved it. We had decided our water lines out to Duke Energy, that they were just using them occasionally, and it seems to
Yeah,
cost us.
so, yeah, that moving forward on that contract hasn't happened. That's still hanging out there.
Okay. And so what's the issue for,
Just having,
Moving it
having
forward.
time and bandwidth to do it. I think that if I
Yes.
can moved in front of it,
okay,
there's no good.
other than you have 2 jobs? Maybe 2.5,
Well,
even Susie.
That's his main job.
That is his main job. No, I understand, sir. Thank you.
That's TBA contract too. That's gotta be got some legal stuff. It's gotta be involved with that too.
Sure. Just wanted to keep it on the burner.
And the previous attorney retired, was working on it.
so we got plenty of excuses,
Yeah.
plenty of excuses, and that doesn't mean that paying attention that doesn't go right.
It's not the biggest issue. It's just the one that we've addressed that we, I hope we can get back to. I'm done, Mike.
Michael, you got anything?
No, I don't have any.
Mr. Ford, Bruce?
We would do, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. We had talked about some capital projects in our last meeting. We were kind of brainstorming a little bit about water lines and proper sized water lines. Have we made
I need
any
to get a
progress
copy
on
of that.
nailing
You
that
scratched
down
it
and estimating a cost to it or anything?
No, that's.
We're still,
No,
we still need to work on that list
Yeah.
and get the list pulled together. I just,
Yeah, I think, adequate service to those plants to me is just a real critical responsibility. And so I just want to follow up on that.
From time to time, the plants will have a conversation with Calvert City Water. Cause we're a supplier, and key supplier. So we have those kinds of conversations. We always check into what your need is forecasted to be. And, we have put into place an emergency call list and things like that. So I want to start doing that on on more of an annual basis. Because, we've worked, with such longevity with everyone, you just assume they're always going to be there. You call up next time and a key person is retired. And so we've got to get that going. And that's kind of a subset of the TBA conversation, Bill.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That's just one part. I think you were asking about like the list of the 5-year, the
Yeah, we
bare
were kind of-
bones of the 5-year capital plan.
Yeah, especially where we're we're undersized on our water delivery, and was what we talked about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of those items on that 5-year
Yeah,
capital list to
yeah.
see, and we've talked about a lot of different ways to do that, and we've been letting the demand pull forward the infrastructure. So when we have routine conversations with these industrial clients, we do that. Sometimes there's some development, economic development contact with utility superintendent.
Yeah.
There's been,
This was a problem area though, if I remember correctly, where we had some problems with that pipe you were working with.
You talking about playing?
Yeah, supply pipe, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's the one.
And I understand it's hard to think about those kinds of things when you got 4 million gallons of water. You'll
In a
come down
weekend.
in your lagoon.
Well-
I completely understand that, your priorities can get shifted rather quickly, but I think, I think it all ties into the right study to have a good idea of what we're looking at and where we need to put those efforts so that they are synchronized.
There is some news that we can share. We have just enlisted HDR, right? For the study. Well, we've signed a contract with HDR to do the preliminary engineering on the protective berm. And we're going for grant applications on that. No matter what the future of the water plant looks like, as far as what's down there or not, that infrastructure is gonna be there. And so
That's right.
we just signed a contract, the city signed a contract with HDR. They're going, flesh out that preliminary design and the basis for it. And so that helps us move toward, because it's information we need to know anyway. And of course, we can use that information to push forward into the grant world.
Right.
So, on a 5-year capital plan, and the special emphasis on industrial is like you got the predicted growth. We can take a look at the line of the billing predicted, but the economic development discussions and then chemical plant additions don't really come naturally. They usually come in $10 million investment chunks, and then they'll need the support. So we do have those kinds of conversations are ongoing. And there's really, to my awareness, we don't have a big demand that's on the books yet. So you wait for one of those to say, hey, let's get going with that. But the point taken is that we've got an infrastructure out there we have to maintain, and we probably ought to grow it to a certain percentage as we can afford to. That's something that sets us apart from your average rural water.
Yeah, or have a schedule, of a preventative kind of maintenance thing. So if that's an issue, we need to get it out there.
Well, and let's not forget that getting the booster station operation in the first time ever, like it's
That's right.
designed to run, is a big one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
I'm very happy with where we gone. I realize, sometimes it wasn't always a pleasant journey, but at the end of the day, the waters were better than we were maybe since it was new.
We need to talk about that Donnie
Yeah.
yeah, well, I guess,
Y'all working. So
I don't think there's anything economic development wise that would prohibit us from doing this. We're all familiar with Donnie Travis, likes to develop in our community. He's got 2 buildings that he's constructing. And he wants to get them on city utility. So we're going through the process of making that happen for him. And it's going to be basically allowing him to get into our sewer post annexation. And then another opportunity that he's working on is accelerating, and it's probably going to push us to a solution that's different than what we would have if we had more time. So it's all good news. I mean, it's development on Gearsville Highway. It's like the last spot of Calvert City utility really right now that you get into. So, and Donnie's a great guy, personal friend, but he's not scared of developing in Calvert City. And he's not scared of our zoning compliance things. I mean, he's come through that a lot, and he really likes doing businesses with businesses that like to, support the plants. And so that's been a pretty good thing for Donnie. So he's always enthusiastic, he can work with, and we try to make sure that, and he's got some good suggestions on some things for streamlining too, but he's got 2 buildings going up and fully intended to, when they're done, is that will wind up being voluntarily annexed into the city and tie into the sewer system. He would much rather have his properties tie into a public utility sewer than have to deal with septic tanks, holding pots, pump outs, and all that stuff.
Oh,
The soil in and around the river is not the best perking soil anyway, so it's always a hard thing. I don't have an update on the other development where we had to ask of Mark Devine to do that. I haven't got an update on that lately. No.
I hadn't heard anything more on it. either.
But I,
John met somebody the other day. I think John met somebody. the other day.
yeah, so that's kind of the economic development of his tract and things. And so we gave him some answers he was able to use for an immediate need on that journey, and I haven't heard it back. So they're still looking to service utilities from the south side of Cypress Creek up the old, what is street the name of that road? I want to call it, is it Alabama?
Yeah, North
Yeah.
Alabama.
North Alabama. So nothing even report that.
The other one that we looked at one time, talked about, and I don't think we ever got anywhere with it, was that subdivision over there off of, right in there where Donnie Travis is building those buildings right in that area, and there's little subdivision back in there.
Out here off the Jerusalem Highway?
Yeah,
Well, it's all in city water and sewer. So he's on it.
Well, yeah, Cypress Creek Drive, where like, you talking about where like, Hannah Supply and all that stuff is?
Somebody you
no,
built.
no, I'm talking about closer up to Calvert Lumber. Right in there where they have built,
You know what you're talking about.
I can't think what that, there's a little subdivision in there of homes and so.
Yeah, that's,
We had talked about
Johnson subdivision.
needing to get some water over there or something, or was it sewer over there?
They got water and sewer.
They got water and sewer, and that's where Donnie's looking at tying in,
Yes.
and
Is
you
that-
utilize that pumping station over there.
Okay, maybe we were just gonna talk about increasing the size of our piping or something.
I remember,
We've tied him into water already for the bill.
I remember Roger working on the apparatus, the pumps and stuff, just getting into them. And I remember, yeah, we were already there. I remember it was more of a problem of
Maybe
getting
that's
to
what-
it in a way that was safe and you could use heavy equipment and stuff. Were some issues
Yeah.
that this was 5-10 years
So
ago.
you look down there at the elevation at the top of that pumping station and look at the elevation versus the road, there's quite a few feet above there. So it's
Yeah.
one of our lower line areas of that subdivision.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what you're trying to remember.
I don't remember either. Maybe it'll come to me in the
But
middle of the
Dr. Smith Lane is actually serviced by North Marshall Water.
Yeah, y'all, we talked about that.
So the Morsi, the old Morsi building, which is now owned by DK, that's a North Marshall Water customer. The Calvert City's,
Weird.
well, I mean, it's just where the bitter end is.
Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
And things change from time to time if utilities have different needs and have different clients. We haven't got any in the works to swap any territory or anything like that.
Steve, you good? Yeah. Okay. Bobby? Good. Mayor?
Working on truck bids.
Yes, that'll be sent out next week.
So Bobby is the expert for the time being on these type of cycle trucks is looking for it. So he's been working with Mr. Ward trying to get a bid out. So some of the companies that have been working with Bobby and he knows options. He's pretty familiar with all of them. So I think it's gonna be a great bid process because of Bobby's work. I also, as administrative chain of command is, I think Bobby's got a good team going. They're coming together and he's telling me the guys are doing good, and I think that's good work and
I mean, everybody's still learning, but they're learning.
so pulling.
And they're willing to learn, so.
That's good.
everybody-
That's key.
everybody's doing it.
Yeah, certifications, everything's
Yeah,
on
we have, I
track.
mean, yeah, I mean, as soon as they get ready to, they're gonna
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Follow the year, there's usually some classes and progress made.
Yeah, there's gonna be some either next month or I think.
Rural water meets the end of the month, in the next month.
Yeah, they got a August 24th
Yeah.
conference.
And there are gonna be some training opportunities in that, or they usually separate.
That one, I don't know if there's a training in that. I think that's just a conference.
Okay,
And I was gonna try to go to it, but we'll see.
I think you should.
I don't know, I'm gonna try.
A lot of good management, issues there. Roger's pretty high on that. So we'll make sure.
Yeah, I noticed in
Brad, get
in
you
the late news where there was a thing where the legislators put out some money and there was nothing in Marshall or Callaway County or something like that. And having worked in that McCracken, Paducah area for 23 years, I can tell you their chamber, they make a trip every year.
Right.
And but before they make a trip, they get their list. Nobody deviates from that list. Every person that walks into a representative or senator's office is
Here's our
promoting
priorities.
that list.
Right. Here's our priorities, this first. this
And
second.
believe you me, it has its effect. I watched that for a long time now. We try to pull some of that in Marshall County a little bit, but working the system yields benefits. But you gotta all say the same thing and be on the same page.
Do we have a Marshall County Chamber of Commerce that's active?
I don't know what the Marshall County Chamber is doing or not doing. I haven't had any
Okay, I don't have.
for years.
no
I've not,
clue.
been a long
I hadn't
time
heard
since
much
I've had any.
activity from them in a long time. I guess they're still active, but I haven't.
I have no idea, but I'm just saying that it's a very productive process to go through those meetings, decide exactly what your priorities are gonna be, stick to them, and go up there and have those personal meetings. And sit in there with your representatives and your senators.
I have one other comment if you're done.
I'm done.
In the newspaper, it spoke of the water and utility management as we change leadership, that there would be some discussion about whose roles, who got what roles, and how things were carried out. Is that something that's going to be debated?
I think that
And
that was in the
addressed.
context of hiring a new city administrator.
Yeah. I
So
think it
John
was.
Ward's last day with the city
Is September.
September 30th. So there's a committee been formed.
Right. I saw that.
So talking about, as we look for the city administrator, what percent of water manager job duties would be on that?
On that person's plate.
So for instance, John's doing the bidding process for the suck truck. That would have been handled differently before the changes that were made. The utility department would have done that internally as opposed to, externally. That considered, so as we move forward, is that what you?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
referencing.
Yeah,
That some roles would be defined that would so address this, the work done in through this group.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's a pretty tight time frame and a pretty changing environment. So the getting the city administrator is gonna be a pretty big effort. In a short period of time.
That's some serious money there.
Yeah.
Pump truck.
Oh, yeah. Second only to maybe a fire truck. I think he's got Brad's garbage truck beat, I think.
Mhm.
By a little bit.
Go first class. That's.
Make sure. it
But
has a radio.
usually, this is a procurement of a need and we've got one that is in need of maintenance. We're gonna save some maintenance, but it was actually, quite frankly, not the right unit to do kind of things that Bobby wants to, want to achieve. So,
When that one was bought, it was, Roger bought it and he tried to find something that was a little less high dollar to meet the needs and not sure that was a wise move.
There's a limited of things.
It's limited, very, very
Yeah.
limited.
Well, there's your, doing things like Kentucky Dam and sewer stuff. I mean, you gotta be prepared to,
I'll agree. Very, very much.
Well, the Kentucky Dam. Probably getting too far in the weeds, but the Kentucky Dam conversation thus far. We are not accepting maintenance of their system. And my stand on that is Calvert City utilities might not be the best for that. If the state wants someone to do that, then they probably need to put out a request for bids. And see if they can find somebody who's willing to contract that responsibility out for a price. Now, if they do that, then if they put out for bids, I think that Calvert City Utilities ought to look at what it is over there and see if it meets with something that we're trying to achieve. But right now, that's a big ask for us right now. So with this, the emphasis in my view is to get the construction, get the contract done, get the construction underway and accept the flow at a price. And then if the state needs to achieve the next step of it, then they'll achieve it. So I hope I didn't say too much about negotiations. I think it's pretty clear that's where we're at there.
Good, thank you. Anything else? Do I have a motion?
Boys are up.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Second.
Put me
The boards and the board.
Did you pass on your opportunity to bring an issue in front of this August body? Were you asked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan did not skip me.
All right, good.